What's going on, everybody? This is something new we've been talking about for a very long time. I'm joined by AJ Toxie, Felix. Joined by Jarrell Leeper. You know, you can call AJ or Felix. I'm gonna mix it up throughout the duration of this project. I'm Wilson Tarpe. We're here obviously on behalf of My Mind on Sports. This is a new YouTube show that we're doing. It's called Beyond the Arc. So that's what we're gonna stick with. That's what basketball is right now.
Right.
It's all about being beyond the arc.
Absolutely.
You know, you guys got your podcast, 1,000 Jumpers, so we're definitely going to shameless plug there because we can do that here. We can shameless plug anything that we want. But some of the topics, East versus West this season, for the last 3 or 4 years, we've been talking about how much better the West is dominant. And then this year, it's a little bit different. The East not as bad. We have some East teams that are 9th, 11th, 12th.
That could easily...
Are the A seed in the West.
Right.
So, what is your initial thoughts about the East versus West this year, and how it's kind of changed?
For the West, you got to give it to the Golden State Warriors, and you know they're the top team in the NBA hands down. But like, I do see the East creeping up more so than in the past few years. Like, you know, teams like, you know, the Hawks. Like, you saw what they did last year. Like, they weren't on anybody's radar coming into the season. So I think, you know, there's teams that people are sleeping on in the East. The East is going to be, like, you know, it's going to rise again, like everybody likes to say. But the West still has a hold on the NBA, the way I see it.
Okay. Gerard?
My opinion, to go back off of AJ, the Warriors are just that team right now. And quietly, because the Warriors are so great, people aren't even focusing on how really good the Spurs are. So
very true.
The West is definitely competitive. However, I don't think anyone predicted how good the East would be this year. I mean, granted, the Wizards were an injury away from being in Eastern Conference Finals, and now we're not even in the playoffs right now. Mm-hmm. You look at a team like Boston, who no one predicted, they're quietly developing like a nice little roster. Not to mention, you have good teams as in, you know, Cleveland, outside of what happened last night. You have the Hawks. You have the Heat, who, when LeBron left, the Heat are done, Wade needs to retire. Wade's balling again. Or he's always been balling, but he's showing like, I'm still Flash, I'm still D-Wade, I'm still nice. You have a whole bunch of other teams. It's a lot more, it's like a resurgence. It's looking like when I was like in 06, 07, where everyone had that one star that you need to look out for. The league is becoming a little bit more balanced. So the West is still the stronger conference, but keep that eye on the East.
All right, it's one of the things I've had the pleasure of joining my guy Cardell Dudley on Finance Magazine on a couple of his like video podcasts. I've been speaking about this East resurgence, and no one's really been listening to me because I'm the weird guy that's like, no, Charlotte actually has good players. No, Milwaukee, like everyone jumped on Milwaukee, so I'm not going to take credit for Milwaukee. But things like Boston, Charlotte, Detroit, there's a lot of good teams with good players, and I think, as you said, we think about when the East, everyone had like a star player. We're almost back to that point. It's just that Golden State's outshining everyone so much. And then we're still technically in the LeBron era. So it's hard when you have your guys who might be like second-tier stars. They're not getting the love that they might have got before when, you know, even then before you had LeBron on one team, Dwayne on another, Chris on another. You had Paul on a different team.
Right.
Now, you know, everything's kind of, as you said, a little bit more balanced, but I'm definitely in favor of saying the balance has shifted to the East, where for the first time in like 3 or 4 years, we can say there's Western Conference teams that are 7th or 8th seeds that wouldn't be 5th or, you know, before like last year was a running joke. Like if you're 7th, 8th in the West, you're like, the top of the East.
Top of East.
And that's a lie. Like this year, it is a flat out lie. And, you know, just credit to the East. It takes some time for teams to build rosters, for rosters to be built rather. And, you know, I'm anxious to see how it continues to go. I think we're really far away from finding out what the East is really going to look like because of the injuries. Almost everybody in the East is plagued by injuries.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
key injuries. Not minor injuries, but key injuries. You have Washington, who just got Beal back, but one of their key free agent pieces, Allen Anderson, who, you know, they're trying to make that transition to small ball, and that's a big piece of it. You know, Jared Dudley's a good piece, but Allen Anderson's a more active piece. Like, you know, he's younger, more athletic. Well, they're about the same age, but he's more athletic. He's a better defender.
Absolutely.
You know, they were counting on him to be that guy in a small ball lineup, or even in a traditional lineup, as an extra piece, and he hasn't played a minute this season. You know, you got Charlotte. Al Jefferson has been out for most of the year, even though I think they're kind of moving beyond Al for the most part. I'm in Detroit. They just got Brandon Jennings back, and that's weird because they signed Reggie Jackson, and Brandon Jennings is still a decent NBA player. You know, and in the world of small ball, it's not bad, and it's very conceivable where you can play both of them at the same time.
And
it's
that's
not
gonna
bad
be
at all.
scary. If they could figure that out, that's gonna be lethal.
And I think it's easier to figure out when you took some of the front court pieces out of the way and just let it be Drummond's lane, and you guys do your business on the outside, and everything's fine. But the East is going to be fun coming down the stretch.
One thing I like about the East, like how you're saying, like they're rebuilding and it takes time. I like what the Knicks did, you know.
Oh, see, I didn't even mention the Knicks.
With Porzingis, like how they, you know, I saw the little Snapchat, you know, how they have the ESPN stories
Right.
now. They had the little 6-year-old that was crying because they drafted Porzingis.
Right.
But now, boy, did he refute his you know, his
He
initial
refuted
reaction
everyone.
because Porzingis is balling. He's
That
averaging
little,
13.
that little
points.
boy wasn't the only one, and that's the
Yeah.
part that kills me.
Yeah.
is I
Everyone.
remember so many people just like, Phil, what the heck are you doing? And no offense to everyone at home, but Phil Jackson's for a pretty
can't-
good reason.
Yeah, you can't question him.
Secondly, you know, if it's not like he has a long history of taking European players.
Mhm.
The last one I believe he took was Tony Kukoc. And Tony was good. And right now, Porzingis, you got Dirk talking about he's way more advanced than I was at my age. And we don't
That's
even know
scary.
what kind of player Porzingis is, but we know 7'3",
Yeah.
can run and jump and shoot.
Yes.
Those things usually don't go well together.
And can dribble, like
It's like the new age. We're in the new age with small ball, and the Knicks went and got like a prize small ball big. That's not small at all. 7'3". You know, we don't know if he's a 3, 4, or 5. We don't know. We do
And
know
he
he's
can
not strong enough to
defend.
play 5.
He's a hybrid.
And he can defend.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a luxury they have. And then talking about the Knicks, shout out to Carmelo Anthony, because it's one thing we've been doing, not saying us necessarily, but just in the media and fans, the narratives that's been out there. He's a selfish player, doesn't pass the rock, can't lead people to victory. What is he doing this year?
Yeah.
Like, how about you surround them with actual, like, a team? We just spent an hour talking about a team on the show, but a team.
Yeah.
You put a team with actual pieces around them that fit together versus just a random conglomerate of players. I mean, that plays a big factor into it. He's always been a very good basketball player. And he's been it's easy to be like, oh, he's just a scorer. You know, he's a good basketball player. It's, you know how we always see kind of a different version of Melo on the USA team?
Right. Yeah.
And it's like Melo on steroids on the USA team?
Absolutely.
And we see every facet of his game? Well, how about that should be an indictment that he doesn't play with anybody. He hasn't played with a good enough team.
Yeah.
People around him with the requisite basketball IQ or whatnot, like the USA teams. So on the USA teams, he's hell to deal with. As a 4, as a small ball 5, as a 3, just period. He's crazy. to
Yeah,
deal
he's
with.
very versatile.
So now you end up with a team, albeit a young team, for a lot of positions, but look at where they're at. He had like 21, 7, and 7 last night. It's Carmelo Anthony, the guy we said couldn't pass.
I have a question now. He's known, like you said, for being sort of the ball hog, selfish star. Where would you rank this team compared to the team that made it to like the second round of playoffs?
I think this is hands down the best team he's had since he's been in New York. I think that because of just sheer talent, I think sometimes we can get fooled that a collection of talent, because it may work out, or you have enough shooting, or you know, if the right recipe with the talent it works out, that we get fooled and thinking that's a good team. No, like look at what we saw last night. We saw a massacre because we watched a team versus a team with talent.
Yeah.
It's two totally different things. And then, let alone last night, we watched a talented team play a team with just talent on it. You had 5 people playing one-on-one, etc. You know, like it's cool for a little while. You might beat somebody, but you play a team. It's like akin to the NCAA tournament. You always want to know anytime you're picking the brackets which team is loaded with juniors and seniors, because they'll be the team that gets that team full of a whole bunch of freshmen that don't understand how to play basketball yet. And they'll get the little kids out the way, even though the kids are way more talented. But the kids don't know how to play basketball or function as a team yet. So, you know, it's a really big part of making a team, what makes teams good. We're always talking about chemistry.
Yeah.
The Knicks' chemistry is outstanding this year. On both ends.
You're right. Like it's scary. Like no one Few saw this coming. I'm not gonna say no one. Few saw this coming.
I'm gonna raise my hand. Thank you, everybody.
I remember when it happened. You told me, you was like, yes, watch, and I'm just like, whatever. And
I
you
think
were right.
everybody told me, yeah, whatever. I'm not a write a lot, but you know, I'm gonna be proud to be like, I was Octavia, you know, our co-host for the show, for the radio show, and she's a huge Knicks fan, and she asked me on draft night. I was like, you guys are gonna be fine. Like, you're great. Don't even worry about it. Like, I like the team. It wasn't a whole bunch of really good players per se, like high-profile players, but it's a team around him. All right, so John Wall, Brad Beal named again to the USA finalists, 30-player pool, yada yada yada. Their chances of making it.
I definitely think John Wall, coming off this season, definitely has a good chance to, you know, be up on the 12-man roster. Like, especially. Like,
What about Brad?
The bad thing is, though, they didn't put D Wade up there, but I can see why. But like, it's just gonna be hard to
I
see.
don't think he'd play either way.
It's the shoulders. The shoulders.
I just think I think people are gonna be surprised. I think a couple of them are gonna choose not to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
I just think after a certain time, it's not worth that in the summer.
You know, one of the storylines I saw, it said LeBron said he might not play.
I don't, and it's gonna be funny. Okay, and obviously, this is just me saying this early. I don't know anything. There's no sources here. Don't have that type of juice. I don't think LeBron's gonna play. I don't think Paul George is gonna play. I don't think Kevin Durant's gonna play.
No.
No, that's just
That's
me.
gonna be a you know,
Wow,
interesting team to watch.
Yeah, that would be.
It's gonna be real young. It might be, you know, the catalyst into the future, like what's gonna happen next.
I mean, but the fun part is you have Golden State's entire small ball lineup in that.
We got 4 of their players up there.
So like you can take, so say you take Steph, Clay, and Dre out the 3, and they make the 12, and you can add 2 more players into their
Like the
technical Golden State.
Kawhi.
You know, your Kawhis. There's another guy out there. You have Kawhi. You have LaMarcus Aldridge. I think that's in it. You got Blake if he plays, and I don't think he's gonna play. Like I think people are gonna be surprised. We're gonna be looking at like, I don't want to say the future, but a lot of the younger guys. And I don't think Steph's gonna play like a whole bunch of times past this either. Like I think they want to take that time in the summer just to get their bodies right.
Yeah.
Right.
But Beal chances? No. Yes.
I don't think so.
I love Bill, but I don't think Bill's gonna make it. I can see Wall. I think Wall deserves it a lot more this year. I mean, I think he deserved it both years. But he definitely built a stronger case for himself. So it would be more surprising if he didn't get it this go around. If you had to put money on either or making it, put it on Wall.
But I wouldn't even. If I was Bill, I would sit out myself. You know, it's been a pretty tough year so far with the injuries and everything. I'd take the summer like everybody else, rest up, and because I think Washington, like I like them. Like I like watching them last year. You know, they had a pretty good squad.
We really did.
Yeah. So I think like, you know, if they could rest up over the summer and come back into 2016, 17, they can be, the East is coming back, the resurgence, be one of the key players.
All right, I think Wall can make it. I don't think he will. Just due to politics and whatnot.
I
I think a couple. I'm just gonna just throw that. I'm just not gonna lie and give you the politically correct response. There's politics involved with all USA teams. We've known that for quite a while. I mean, think about the Dream Team where Isaiah didn't make it. Christian Laettner was on that team. Like, no disrespect to Christian Laettner, but Isaiah Thomas didn't.
They chose a cosplayer. Even if you want to think about Laettner, they chose Laettner over Shaq.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's always politics in it, and this is not about any person in the process, but just saying, like, I wouldn't be surprised if John doesn't make it. With Brad, I think he can just because of his ability to shoot, but I think with Brad, the reason why he won't make it is he hasn't accepted who he is as a basketball player, and until then, he's not going to make a USA team. Like, he needs to play like literally like Klay Thompson, and I don't think he's accepted it yet. Like, he doesn't need to put the ball on the floor that much. You're a 3-point shooter in 2016. You're a good 3-point shooter. Stop shooting long twos. Only take threes. It's okay. Like, it's fine. It's all right. You have a beautiful stroke. You shoot very well from out there. Stop it. Stop taking the half step in. Stop it. You know, and if he would play like, ideally, he needs to play like not exactly like Klay, but very similarly. Like, your handle's not good enough for you to handle the ball on a regular basis to bring somebody down at the end of a shot clock, unless you got switched on to a big, and even then, it's not the same type of handle. You know, like, it's not 2 moves, I'm out, 1 move, I'm gone. You know, he dances back and forth. You know, that's 8 seconds off the clock. So, I don't think he's going to make it. John definitely deserves to, because I think John's, like, I think your locks are Steph, Russ, Chris Paul, and the other lock should be John, but it won't.
Also, do you think politics kind of changed slightly since Popovich is coaching?
I forgot. Is Pop having this team?
Yeah.
Or this is Coach K's last team?
I think Pop is having this team.
Okay. Well, if it's Pop, then I think the politics would be different. I think that's different. Then I'm gonna say John makes it.
Yeah.
If it's Coach K, I don't see John making it. But
That's
if
fair.
it is Pop, I'm sorry, I'm not sure. I can't remember whose reigns it is. I know that Pop said he's taking over after Coach K. I just couldn't remember if this is Coach K's last run with it.
That excites me though. Pop
But,
taking the helm. Yeah.
I think that's
That'll
different because
be fun.
the guys
Yeah.
that are two-way players, I think, will be valued a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think that's definitely different. All right, yesterday on MLK Day, what was the best performance you guys watched yesterday? You're allowed to pick Steph or Clay. It's okay.
I didn't get to see Kimba's performance.
You can't choose it if you didn't watch it.
Right, so I'll just.
I'm
say,
just playing.
Yeah,
You gonna take him? You can take
No,
him.
I'll say the Warriors because
Okay.
just the total dominance, something I personally didn't see coming. I thought a good competitive game would come out of it. You know, finals rematch in Cleveland. Boy, was I wrong.
So
It was
were
a
a lot of
total-
others. It's okay.
Yeah, total annihilation. Just to show like this is how basketball teams should play the game of basketball. Whether it was the passing, just the execution was flawless, top to the finish. You know, start from the moment it tipped off till it was over. It was just like whoa, like we're here.
I'm gonna take Steph. He went in talk what most people say was junk, which I just think he was stating simple facts.
Like if you just won a championship, obviously you can remember the place you celebrated. It's
Right,
special.
right. And it's your
Correct.
first. Come on.
And then what do you usually douse locker rooms are filled with what?
Champagne.
Oh, I thought so. It's not just a basketball thing. All pro sports. Most of it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right. That's what I figured. But then he backed it up. You know, he backed it up. Cleveland should have came in the game the way Steph came in with that fire. You know.
Nah, you're right. I mean, think about this. You hear David Blatt say after the game that, you know, pretty much saying, I'm paraphrasing, I don't remember what it is verbatim, but saying that his team wasn't ready mentally and that's his fault. How can your team not be mentally ready to play the team that
beat
them for the NBA championship?
In Cleveland.
In your hometown, one,
Mm-hmm.
and then in your arena. Secondly, a couple of your, you know, better players weren't there for you. So wouldn't that add more fuel to the fire, make you want to come out and have an outstanding performance? And instead you got drugged.
Right.
Like, let's call it
Also,
what it is.
why weren't they even motivated? Like that's
It's
one of
the
the
number one
games.
team.
It's a
Yeah,
cop out. Like that's the
That's
number one
whack,
team in
man.
the league.
Right.
You're supposed to get everybody's best, and then you show up like that.
Right.
So like they just showed us what their best is, and you know where. I don't know if that Cleveland roster can ever achieve that, and I don't think it can. I think they broke Cleveland, and you know I saw a lot of stuff today about people writing a couple of things like, well, you know, this is the loss is going to get Cleveland right. What's it going to change? So like even say that Cleveland tried really hard. Were they beating that Golden State team that tried hard?
no.
Like their level of locked in was a little bit different than their levels we saw. Like last night looked like that was a better performance than Golden State played in the finals
It was.
last year
Agreed.
at any point, right?
Yeah.
Like as a
It
team,
was
right?
just pure domination.
Like it was just pure stop it.
Mhm.
You know, this is
It's
child's
like let's
play.
go home. It's
Yeah.
like that's when you just cut the 2K sticks off. All right, it's over. Next.
Right.
It's when you just low Madden and be like, man, let me go hit somebody, maybe it'll change something. You know, but it's bad. All right, so I want if you guys off the top of your head, and this is for you guys as well, let us know on Twitter, and we'll add your responses on next week's show. Who are the guys that are All-Star worthy? So, like, I guess if this is something we can have you guys do for next week too, and for you guys at home, to build your second-tier All-Star team, the guys that you know have no chance in heck of getting voted in by the fans or coaches, but you know are playing All-Star caliber ball. If you can name, you guys have any of those guys off the top of your head? You know what I'm saying? Be like,
Yeah,
I really think this is one of those years where, again, politics is a popularity contest now. But there's a couple, there's more than enough players in the East and the West that are playing well enough that deserve that type of recognition, that are playing all-star caliber basketball, and we know won't be even thought of unless they participate in an all-star event or come out their own money and attend in the street clothes.
I do want to give it to Porzingis. I want to put him in there.
I was thinking Porzingis
I
too.
wanna put-
Well, I think he's getting voted, and I think he's 7th in the front court right now overall.
Yeah.
That's sad, man.
I think we all agree on Porzingis.
Yeah. What I keep seeing on maybe it's like their promotional or marketing advertising, but they're talking about putting whatchamacallit, from the Clippers. Is that they're like vote him in?
Which one?
I don't know how
So DeAndre?
Yeah, they keep talking about. Is that their promotion, or is he really not in the lineup?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he deserves it, like, right now.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I just, like, if anybody deserves it, I mean, I have to look at JJ's numbers all year. JJ, you don't just up and just do what he did last night for no reason.
Oh yeah.
You know, and he's been, we talked about it before, we a little earlier tonight, you know, he's been progressively getting better. Now, obviously, no one's thinking of him as an all-star now, but we're talking about guys that are playing all-star worthy basketball. So that doesn't necessarily mean we're looking for people that average 18, 19, 20. It could be a guy that's consistently getting 12 or 13,
like Porzingis.
you know, or,
that's contributing to the.
yeah, or like JJ, where the Clippers are lost without him right now with the outside shooting. You know, those type of guys. So you guys got a week to think about it.
Okay.
You guys at home do as well. So we appreciate you guys taking this time. We're gonna get better at this. Just the first go round. It's Beyond the Art again. AJ, aka Felix, aka Mr. Toxie, aka London. We got Jarrell over here. It's Channel 8.
Man, ABC 7, Channel 8. Thousand Jumpers podcast.
1,000 Jumpers. Shameless plug. 1,000 Jumpers.
Dapper J. Whatever you want to call me, as long as you call me.
See, you got a cool Twitter name like Dapper J.
Well, I got Let Toxie lead.
I forgot. You do too. I'm sorry.
I've been planning the presidential
I'm
race.
sorry. Let Toxie lead. Think about that one.
Next president.
Toxie lead, Dapper J.
No, it's Let Toxie lead.
Let Toxie. So you gotta follow me. See, it was.
See, like it's like it's a call to action.
Bless up, right?
His Twitter handle is a call to action.
It's key to success. Major key.
Major key. There we go.
We're gonna start that here now.
Yeah, major key. And the major key is you tune in right here.
So my motto in sports, check us out every week when they try to do this. We're gonna post this either on Thursday or Friday every week. Beyond the Art, and that title is just up there. We might change it. We don't know. If you guys if you guys have better suggestions, just tweet us #MMOS. Change your name, and we'll be like, okay. If you come,
I like Beyond the Arc. Because think about it, you can do Beyond the Arc, just do swish, and then have the sound effect. No, me. All right,
Okay.
that's cool. I like that.
I see what the graphics.
I didn't say anything.
I see the vision.
And just for the record, I can't with guys laughing right now. Jamal's going through it. But
Hey, it's
I
all
want to
love,
thank you
man.
guys so much. Beyond the Arc every week right here at MyMindOnSports.com. Get your mind right, folks. Just that simple. Minds on Sports, get it right. Get it right with us. You guys have anything to add? No. All right, bye.